All right, we're back with episode 22. The deadline has passed. We didn't make any other moves. A couple other teams did. We could check the standings real quick. Looks like the Rays and Jays are leading the top of the AL East. The White Sox and the Guardians, AL Central, and the Royals are right behind them. The Royals are finally showing some life. They have Bobby Witt Jr. on a long-term deal. Good for them. Austin Meadows, who's been pretty decent for them. He was good in San Diego last year. He got a long-term deal at 34. Good for him. Anderson Sanchez, minor league free agent signing in 2023. Looks like when he was about 19. Good for him. He's playing corner outfield, hitting pretty well. Tyler Gentry, 30 years old. They're getting a lot of. He has a 160 WRC plus. He originally was a 2020 pick, um, and he's up at 30. He's been there for a couple years. He has 6 years of 6 years of major league service, and he's been pretty good. Um, 16 WAR in 6 seasons almost, so good for him. They have Nate Lowe now, free agent signing, claimed him for one not 1 year, 9 mil. He's been really good for them, on pace for 20 home runs, 2 WAR. Harry Ford, claimed off waivers from Seattle. He's been pretty good for them. He was a former high pick, first round in 2021. Yeah, I remember him. They have Varsho, minor league free agent signing. I don't know why he'd be a free agent signing when he's so good in left and has decent hit tool, but that's the talent we're dealing with in this sim. Just keeps getting higher. He's on pace for 3 WAR. So they got a lot of odd guys here. Same with Matt Chapman, minor league deal. He's been playing a good third base, on pace for 2.7 WAR. And then Jose Salas, Rule 5 pick from Minnesota. He's been okay. Their second baseman. And then their pitchers, their ninth overall pick in 2027 is an absolute monster. Look at these ratings, just incredible. 5++ pitches, incredible stuff and movement. He's on pace for 207 innings pitched, 4.8 WAR. Incredible. That's what you get, when you draft high. They traded for um, Bauman in 2025 for Glenn Otto, who ended up not doing much. Benashi also, they ended up trading him to Cleveland. But interesting, Bauman's been really good for them. Looks like their pitching is really good. No, yeah, fourth, and their hitting is pretty good too. Batter war first, so the Royals look like a team. Bolcho, Oviedo, traded with Atlanta, Sean Sullivan, playing for Minnesota. So they're getting some good run. I don't think their payroll is that crazy either. So they're a good team. Max Clark with the Guardians tried to get him in the Brian Ramos deal, but they didn't want to deal him, understandably so. He's been good. They still have Stephen Kwan, who's been okay. He's on a long-term deal. It's his last year. Manzardo from Tampa. He's been okay. 120 WRC plus hitter. Kyle Stowers traded Baltimore. He's been good with them this year. They traded him at the deadline, it looks like. Um, Caruso, good catcher, not the best defensively. Angel Martinez, he was a prospect for them, doing pretty well for them at short, it looks like. Jay Diller, first round pick in 2025. He's come up, not been that good, but he has some good potential. His eye potential is really good. He just came up a couple games ago. Durango, 26, just kind of a filler. Yeah, they look good. And then they have a couple of studs at the top of their rotation. Kiefer Lord, Javier Tovar, stud. They have Shane Bieber still. Good for him. He's still on a long-term deal. Probably not going to work out that well, but good for them for keeping their guys. Brady Garcia, 17th round pick in 2024. Ended up turning into a pretty good player. He is fragile though. And then Yohan Duran, who they have starting, is on pace for a pretty good season. Interesting. They have him on a. They traded for him. They're not even paying his salary. So good for them. And then the White Sox are up here. They have Gunnar Henderson now, who's been a stud. Julian, old friend. It's been good this year. I was looking at him at the deadline. He was only like at 101 WRC plus, but now he's picked it up. Nate Abney, who was their number one overall pick in last year's draft is up, and he has a 197 WRC plus. He's hitting 370 with 444 OBP, 620 slugging. Incredible. He didn't even do that well in AAA, but it doesn't matter. He is up and he is going to stay their number one overall pick, the league's number one overall pick, and then they also have their 2027 fifth overall pickup. He's been really good. 80 power potential, incredible. On pace for 35 bombs. Good for them. Their draft picks are working out. Drafted high, must be nice. Must be nice. Same here, 2024, 23rd. I almost picked him. I don't think he was there though. Or he was there, I just didn't take him. But let's check my 2024. I think I took Baumeister. Let's check. 2024, Baumeister, yeah. And Baumeister was actually an all-star this year. So he is a two-time all-star. He's locked in on a good deal. We'll keep him around. He's been good. The peripherals aren't great, but his run prevention is good. So we'll keep it there. Yeah, the White Sox look like a good team. They're playing pretty well. Close on Montgomery. Tried to get him a couple years ago, but didn't work out. Theo Gillen, former first round pick, I want to say. Yeah, 16th overall. Been decent for them with the trade from the Mariners for Framber Valdez. All right, cool. So yeah, that's where we're sitting. Um, we are currently 53 and 48. Went on a little bit of a run. We're one game back in the wild card, 3 games back in the AL West. The Angels are first. They still have Mike Trout. He's still phenomenal. He's going for the home run record, I think. He's now fragile. He has 105 WAR. He's still incredible. He has 1 year left after this. But good for him. Love to see that in this sim. I hate when Trout ends up being, diving, regressing really hard in my sims. Jordan Adams still playing well. They still have Estrada DHing for some reason. Um, Beatty, you know, didn't really fit well in our lineup, so I'm glad he got some run with the Angels. He's been an all-star player. Logan O'Hop killed us in the playoffs, I think, one time. Um, Hitting well. Edmund looked at him in free agency because he could play second really well, but he's just not hitting. Good defender and base runner though. Max Kepler, free agent signing, minor league free agent signing, been horrible. Looked at him as well. Nico Horner, free agent signing, minor league free agent signing, can play second. That's why Estrada's not playing second, but he's not hitting well. Trevor Story, free agent signing again, big deal. 3 years, 19 mil per. Hit well last year. Just looks like more of a bench guy. Playing first now, pretty much. Um, doesn't look that great, but they have some studs at the top of their rotation. Leonard Garcia, who we played last year in the playoffs, beat him though. Brian Hernandez looks like really good. I'm not going to give any innings out of him with the stamina, but kind of like our guy Angel. Tristan Smith, first round pick in 2025, looks like a guy. Hudson Waldrop, first overall pick in 2023, looks like a guy. He was, I want to say he was pitching. Might I thought he was, yeah, he was a college guy. Yeah. So good for them. I think I was looking at him. I don't think we were in a position to draft him. Logan Allen, 30-year-old, really good run prevention this year. So got some competition in the AL West. The Mariners, of course, they were on pace for like they were projected to go like 100, having 103 wins. Not quite there. Casilla ended up being pretty good this year, on pace for 5.5 WAR. They have Yannier Diaz playing catcher. Clase still there, having a down year after a couple really good years. Kind of on the decline, but still good. Julio Rodriguez. He's almost at 50 WAR on his career. 80 out of 80 potential in center. Incredible. Cole Young's playing short. Not the best shortstop, but worth 3 wins. Cape, good third baseman for them. 112 WRC plus. They're getting production. Bruhan, not doing much. They still have Kelnick, worth 3 WAR, on pace for 3 WAR on a big contract. Still being productive, and Reese McGuire. Diaz is DH and McGuire is using his good glove to catch and not really hitting. Then their pitchers, they have Matt Brash on a long-term deal, still really good. McDevitt, still really good. These are homegrown guys, and then Logan Webb, they made a trade with the Giants for a couple prospects who look like they're progressing pretty well. So good for them. He's on a long-term deal. They signed him right when they traded him. George Kirby's still there, not doing so hot. His peripherals look fine, and Framber Valdez, who's been okay. So they look like they have some issues. Munoz hasn't been great, but the back end of their bullpen is still deadly, except for Hernandez. They probably have some injuries too. Let's take a look. Yeah, Hudson Leach, McGarry, Tillman. Tillman, yeah, okay. Not much, but yeah, that's where we stand. A couple league leaders, Riley Green with the Yankees, having a great year after being our postseason hero, but we came up a little short, almost for 6.7 WAR, on pace for 6.7 WAR. Good for him. Teal Bar, first round pick 2027, been really good for the Rays. Jim Aldridge, Houston, first round pick. All these first round picks are in the majors. Yeah, so we have Nunez second in base running, stolen bases. Love to see that. Trout leading the league in OPS and WAR. Nunez was on a 17, or Franco was on a 17 game hitting streak. He's really um, hit well for us. He was our, what round was he? Third round. So ended up being a good value pick there from high school. Jack Perkins, of course, leading the league in ERA, of course, year after year. Pitcher WAR, Rodon, and then Angel is even at 155. Expect that he's at on pace for 5 WAR. Good for him. Tommy White, a fourth overall pick, hitting really well with the Reds. Second round pick with the Phillies, pretty good. Not much OBP, not much power, but he looks pretty good. Uh, Ellie De La Cruz, fragile now. He's been worth 41.9 WAR in his career. MVP candidate Ruiz, look at this power. His power is incredible. On pace for 45 bombs. He was originally with the Mets, I think, as a 16-year-old. Otani still hitting well with the Brewers. Love to see that. 35 years old. He's on a big deal still. Vesting option, so he's a free agent in a couple of years. Jay Allen, stolen bases. Any old friends here? Doesn't look like it. Chase Petty, Tiedemann, McKay. McKay looks like a guy. Second round pick. All right. Bunch of high draft picks making the show. Good for them. The Nationals are first. Marlins are not playing that well. They're in second. Braves are out of it. Uh, they still have Mikey Perez, who's been good for them. Old friend for a day. Acuna's not doing so hot. On the decline, it looks like. But we'll see. Still has good ratings. Conroy, second round pick up. Olson still hitting pretty good. He's at 30 WAR on the year on his career. Von Grissom still in the Braves in this sim. 3 WAR on pace for big contract. So yeah, they have Garrett Cole now, free agent signing. 1.6 million. Okay. Jeez, all right. That's just weird. That's weird. But what can you do? Um, Reds are in first by a lot. The Diamondbacks are in first, and yeah, it looks like a pretty weak NL. The first wild card is 1550. Wish we were over there, eh? But all right, we'll play the rest of these games, and if anything happens, I'll cut in. But probably going to be at the end of the year. Our team's looking pretty good. We're on a little bit of a run. Got some Spec is playing well. Dominguez, Volpe, everyone. Hopefully we can get some streaks in. Grahovich hitting really well. Still, he's back from the DL, and then our pitching is just going to carry us. Now we're 15th in runs scored still, first in runs against. So hopefully we get some hitting streaks as we hit in the second half. Spec is leading the team in home runs. Just it's hard to build a good hitting team with such a low budget. Our payroll is still 29th, so what can you do? But yeah, I'll see you at the end of the year probably. All right, we're back at the end of the season. We ended up at 81-81, pretty disappointing year. Our hitting just never really came around, even after the trades we made. Ended up being 15th in the AL. We are still first in runs against, but throughout the year we had a ton of late inning losses, just kind of unfortunate. I think our record in one run games, but yeah, look at this. Our Pythagorean was 89-73, and we underperformed that by 8 games, similar to 2026, where we underperformed by 9 games. So I consider this season a win in that regard, but also the result matters. We did not make the playoffs. We had a little bit of run at the end, but we ended up being out of it by 3 games in the wild card. We had the Tigers. We were playing them trying to take the series, and I think what was the game? We played them for we played them in a 3 game series. We lost the first, we won the second, then we lost on a walk-off grand slam by Colt Keith in the ninth after being up 4-0, and that was again. So, but still had a good year pitching. Angel Macaria, I think I say his last name differently every time, but phenomenal year. 63 fit minus, 5 WAR. Couldn't have been better for us. We did give up. Let's see how the trade worked out. Gabriel Rodriguez, who didn't really play much with the Giants, had a negative WAR, and also Juan Contreras, who is now high A, still hanging around at catcher, but probably going to move to DH or first base. He'll probably be a good player, but for what we got, I think it was worth it. Jack Perkins, you know, led the league in ERA again, just on pace to be a Hall of Famer, really. Incredible, outperforming his peripherals once again. I did read in the history that he does have the lowest batting average against in A's history. So there's that. Just phenomenal getting guys out. If he had a little more stamina, he might be the best player in baseball, but that's not happening. He's going basically 160, 180 innings every year. And he has one more year with us. We're going to try to keep him. He's slated to make around 20 million, so we'll see. Same with Angel Macaria. Ekstrom had a good, decent year. Still, the strikeout rate concerns me. It's going down every year almost, but I have faith in him to get his stuff up to 65 and his forkball up. But he's still locked in for 8 more years, 7 more years. And Noblemeyer had a rough season after last year, but still think he's good enough to be in our rotation. The stuff is there. We'll see how it pans out going into the year. We have a lot of options. Zheng Li, 2 WAR, just another good year. He is slated to make probably around the same on auto renew. So we'll see what we do there. Just a couple expensive guys. Jaden Hill had a rough year. He was up and down, 111 innings, 4 ERA, 4.3 ERA, 4 FIP. Good ratings, but he's going to be a free agent. Maybe we can get what does he want in a contract extension? Yeah, so I don't know if we'll offer him. Probably not offer him the qualifying offer, but that's okay. Um, Taylor Rogers, another great year, 1.9 WAR, just phenomenal for us every year we've had him. Pretty much the same seasons. We love to see it. And Ronan Kopp, good year as a mop-up kind of lefty specialist. Appeared in the most games as a reliever, which is cool. Fit 84, fit minus. Just a solid year out of him. And then Matt Rowe struggled. Ended up moving him to the bullpen. He was angry with his performance, unhappy about his record, but he struggled. Came in the bullpen and was okay. Not much. Baumeister made his second All Star team. Was pretty good out of the bullpen. Better run prevention than his peripherals, which makes sense with our defense. Mick Abel struggled. He struggled a little bit. Better peripherals, but I don't know what we're gonna do with him. we'll see. Might look to move him and just kind of build a cheap bullpen, see which way we can go there. JT Ginn was fine, 99 fit minus, did his job. Tom Moran's was fine as a mop-up guy, got 100 innings in, pretty much low leverage mixed with some high leverage. And then with the batters, Tommy Speck came in, had a great year, 4 WAR, 132 WRC plus with great base running, 35 stolen bases, got on base a good mark, had some power. Looking forward to having him in the lineup next year. Anthony Volpe had a good year, league average hitter, but great base runner, 10.4 BSR. Ended up being a little worse defensive player this year, but that's okay. Still a leader, still has all the personality. He's under contract for a couple more years. Don't know if we want to trade him. We kind of look at him as like our key guy. Jason Dominguez, put up 2.7 WAR with his defense and base running. Hitting was league average, which is pretty much that's how it goes with the A's. They had Nunez, phenomenal year in the field, 19.1 zone rating, great base runner, 45 stolen bases, just doing his thing. That's perfectly fine with me. Noah Franco came up as a third round pick, 351 plate appearances at a 112 WRC plus, did his job, played first base pretty much the whole time. Wasn't great, but gets the job done over there. Grehovich came up 120 WRC plus, did a good job. 1.1, 1.4 WAR, pretty much DH'd and played some catcher, but mostly first base, left field, and DH. K Doty, again, league average. He's probably done with us. Just unfortunate. He doesn't even want to be back. Come on, after all we've been through, Cade. Whatever. Drew Jones, phenomenal year on the bases, 28 stolen bases, zero cut stealing. Terrible hitter, just terrible, but it was a phenomenal fielder, 9.8 zone rating. So that's fine. Max Muncy came over and was fine with us, league average. Story of our Oakland A's life, league average. Hoffman, league average. I mean, he was a little above average with us. That's good. Didn't get much run. Pretty much only hit against lefties. But hopefully we can get him in next year. Blake Burke didn't play, came up late. Fiora was horrible. It's going to be his final year with us. Gonna look to move him. I thought he was going to be a guy of our future, but he just had back-to-back horrible years. 500 play appearances in 2 years, just god awful. And Patrick Bailey. I'll give him another year, but just he's making 9 mil next year. Thought he was going to be better than he was. Framing isn't there right now, but we'll see what we got with him. It's going to be a rough offseason. I'll tell you that right now. With the salaries we have next year, you're gonna say bye to a lot of guys. We're gonna be active. We're gonna try to maybe start a quick rebuild again with some guys coming up like Jesus Polito, who is gonna be up soon. Lean on the young guys for a couple years. Berger's ready. Velas is not ready at all, but we have Egimon. He's pretty much ready next year, and BJ Becker. So we may look to move some starting pitching. We'll see. A beta kind of faltered a little bit. Scouting his it went down a tiny bit, but we'll see if he kicks it back up. He's mad about something. Team record. Okay. Um, Blanco, Double A. Let's see if he can be something. 52 home runs in Double A. Love to see it. Proctor in rookie ball was horrible. Hate to see it, but we have faith in him. Trade for him for a reason, right? But yeah, we are there. We're fourth out of 30 in our farm system, but it's going to be a busy off season. Uh, Not sure what we're going to do. We did extend all of our coaches. We have faith in them. Richard Martinez turned into a good guy from AAA, was originally with Lansing Lugnuts, came up and has been really good with us. So we expect him to continue that. Decent relationships. Um, We hired Matt Arnold. Sure, assistant GM. What can you do? Bench coach. Overall good. Some bad relationships, but we have faith in him. John Farrell still going to be our pitching coach. Joey DeMonte, looking to maybe get rid of him, but he has such good relationships. I wonder if this will have any impact. But we're not going to bring the same team back, obviously, with our budget and everything like that. Um, Derek McCall will still be here. Getzelman will still be here. Overall, great pitching, great coaching staff. Our scouting director is outstanding. Signed him to a 3-year deal, and Rick Jamison, the god of team trainers, is staying with us. So we'll see what we do. We try to make a little run for it by trading for Max Muncy and Jared Dickey. Um, but now we're set in a spot where we kind of need to cut payroll. Um, we don't have any money this year. We don't have any money next year. Our focus is to build a dynasty, but we're going to take a step back, get our payroll down, see if we can have any of these young guys come up. I know Vance Honeycutt had a phenomenal year. Maybe he can make an impact. Um, Mateo Grade made it to AAA, didn't do much. Um, Winokur was good, 49 home runs in AAA. I mean, just some of these guys, maybe they'll come up and be good. Colton Hartman, he's ready to play. So just a rough year in general. It was a little, didn't expect to go 500, but I knew it was the variance when it comes to our hitting, that it could happen. Um, and that's just part of it. So we are gonna see who was in the playoffs. We have okay, let's go to playoff coverage. Wild card, we have Mariners making it as a wild card with the Royals. The Royals are good. The Tigers made it as a wild card against the AL West champs Angels. The Padres made it as 81-81 as a wild card against the wild card team Pirates, the Marlins, and then the NL West division champs, the Diamondbacks. And then as for division winners, we have the Nationals and getting a bye with 88 wins. Same with the Reds getting a bye. They were great. Ailey De Cruz 8.8. He's out for a week though. Maybe he'll probably play, but that's tough for him. Carter Trice, Collier came up. Great year. Looks like a force to be reckoned with over there in Cincinnati. Pitching isn't great, but 100 wins. The Guardians and the Rays got buys. The Rays look good. Let's see if Susak is there. He's still there. Had a 3-win season. His best season. Good for him. Is he on a contract extension? He is. All right. Good for him. What was the original trade? We traded him for Yandy Diaz and Brock Jones. And Brock Jones is now in Minnesota and it had a good year in 2028 with the Jays and then kind of struggled the last 2 years, it looks like. So, I mean, I like what we got from Yandy. It was worth it. It was worth it. He uh he was good for us in a couple years, 2 years, So that's how that's looking. He regressed a lot. So last year, big contract. He's now a free agent. So 38 years old, and Susak is 28. So win-win. They look like they still have a good team. Yeah, Clanahan 20-6, 3.12 ERA. Good for him. Overall league leaders: Guerrero, Ruiz 45, and the Mets make it. Mets did not make it. Uh, it's tough. Nunez almost led the league in stolen bases. Franco had an 18-game hitting streak, and we had two of the top three ERA guys on L and Jack Perkins. Trout led the AL in batter war. Ellie De La Cruz in NL batting war. The Rockies didn't make it this year after winning the World Series last year. They did sign O'Neill Cruz, and he was pretty good, but 112 WRC plus with the park factors. Jack Moss still raking out there, 203 WRC plus even in Colorado. He's fragile though, and Blaylock was not great, just league average, but you know what he can do in the playoffs if they were in it. Their pitching just looks like it was horrible. pretty much the opposite of us. They only had a plus 29 differential, and we had about 70. So still frustrated that we couldn't get it done. Just sequencing on hitting, terrible in one-run games. I don't know where I can look at. Yeah, right here. One-run games, you're 24 and 33, 5 and 12 in extra inning games, and I played all these games, just so you know. And I don't think it was my decision making. I went with the process of a result, but it just didn't work out for us. A lot of walk-off wins, I think, for the other team. Um, it's terrible, but that's just how it goes, how the cookie crumbles. Um, all right, so that'll do it for right now. We'll come back when the off season starts and see who won the World Series. The Rockies are not here to claim back to back, so we'll see the new winner. All right. All right, we're back. It's the end of the 2029 season. The Cleveland Guardians won the World Series against the Cincinnati Reds. I knew the Guardians were looking good and the Reds were looking good, so it seems like the best teams in both leagues went up against each other. Uh, it was a 4-1 series win from the Guardians. Lord dominated game five. Um, who was the MVP? Who knows? But the Guardians win. Young Poco retired. His career was ended after surgery. We just signed like a 2-year, $900,000 deal each year with the team option. So obviously that was rejected. New budget for us, 130 million. Team payroll seems like a lot now for John Fisher. So we'll see. Um, uh, Expectations, we didn't reach the expectations by USA News apparently. Um, so there's that. Taylor Rogers extended him. He's happy about that. We acquired Jason Dominguez. Um, don't know. He doesn't see Jason Dominguez as kind of a star, which I don't really either. So it's understandable. But we also acquired Angel Macario, so I don't know why he's not looking at him. Um, let's see, improve your run score. So whatever, I don't really care. Yeah, retired. John Farrell retired. Our contract was extended 3 years. And also, first move of the season, we traded McCable. And the trade was, let's see, we traded him to the Marlins along with Maui Ahuna, Chase Also, Juan Solizano, Jeff Smooth, Ahmad Harajili for Xavier Nahians. I feel like I'm just pronouncing his name completely wrong. Um, but he was the ninth overall pick in 2025. He hasn't made the majors yet, but he's pretty close. Looks like he can play some third base, but mostly first, lefty righty guy. But yeah, got Neons, and we also have Cam Caminiti, who is a two-way guy. So we'll see if he can actually maybe be in AAA a little bit. I don't think he has any options left, but two options left. Um, so maybe we can try him in AAA, see if he can be a two-way player, but lefty, kind of borderline starter. See if that pans out. And they gave us 10 million in cash. So we're on the lookout for cash, on the lookout for boosting our budget. We still like McCable, just was going into his last year, and it was time to let him go. We also let Cade Doughty go. We didn't extend him a qualifying offer, so we just released him. And good news, number one prospect in baseball is our own Jesus Polito, who looks like he's going to be a stud, even though with a low work ethic. Um, he put up 4 WAR in Double-A, so we're excited about him. Number one prospect. Thank you, Scout, in 2023. Forgot who you were, but you weren't the current Scout. He is a righty guy, has some speed, no base running ability, so we'll see how he does. He's pure bat. If he can get that power up to 70, my God, he's going to be something. Rest of the team, let's see. Jesus Avalo, Scouting Discovery, thank you. Current Scout, appreciate it. Doing my job better than I am. Jonathan Berger is number 48. Cal Poly, fourth round pick. Yeah, he got the award for best pitcher in Double A this year, Midland. So that's exciting. And Aiden Agiyamang, 51 overall. He's probably going to be ready next year. So that's cool. We are ranked farm system wise fourth, which is really cool. We got Xavier Neons, 108th. Awkward, who we drafted second round, and a bunch of other guys, top 200. Beck Proctor is now 184. So cool. Back to the emails. Arbitration. Let's see what other moves we made. We moved Chase Davis along with Carrara, JT Ginn, and some minor league guys for Fernando Roquez and Addison Worthman, a couple outfielders, kind of 4A guys, and 10 million in cash. So we are trading away depth, trading away guys who are making like 2 mil each, 4 mil, and guys we can easily find elsewhere. I like Chase Davis, but he didn't really work out for us this year and last year. Um, well, mostly this year. Uh, but wish him the best. We also traded Max Muncy again to the Angels, along with Joey Klein. Um, wasn't looking like much, maybe a reliever or something. Uh, to the Angels for Colin Ritchie, kind of infield depth. Nothing here. Gonna stay in the minors and 11 million in cash. So we're just selling players. Don't really feel great about it, but that's what we got to do. We also traded Kiro, stuck on our AAA. Traded him for along with a 23-year-old shortstop, second baseman to the Royals for Dayton Dooney, who's just a AAA depth guy at first base, 30 years old, switch hitter, and 3 million in cash. So not much going. Kira was expected to make around 4 or 5 in arbitration. We signed a bunch of minor league free agents who were going to go. We're going to leave like Bryce Eldridge, Tony Blanco, John Peck, De Jesus, Clemming, who was a high school pick, and he still looks pretty good. Could definitely be a reliever. Barcy, just guys that are going to fill out the minor league roster. Murata, still feel good about him. Could do something with him. Just like seems like the talent pool is so high nowadays. Eldridge still giving him a chance, I guess. Our first pick, 39th overall. We also signed Angel Macaria to his final year before, sorry, yes, this year and next year. It was 2020, 2030 and 2031 still, so he's going to be expensive. He's just too good to pass up, to be honest. And Jack Perkins, his final year, 21 mil. So that's 42, 43 mil to two guys. We also signed Jason Dominguez to $9.7 million deal. So just a lot of a lot of money being spent. Tommy Speck, 3.1 mil. But a lot of the cash that I got in deals, I think they're going to help. Sign Tom Ross, Cop, Jose Pinto, kind of just a minor league guy, depth. Uh, Dickey, just because we couldn't really trade him. The Red Sox were offering Marcelo Meyer for Dickey and Kiro, and the problem is he's making $28 million. Um, he's making $28 million next year. We didn't want to do that, and that's his final year. So that was something we weren't going to do. We signed a pitching coach, I think. Uh, yeah, he is pitching coach now for us, Mark Peterson. Hopefully he fits in. Signed Drew Jones to a $1.7 million deal. We can look at awards. No gold gloves for us. No platinum sticks. But we see Tyler Gentry on the Royals doing well. Brian Ramos got one. He had a good year. Good for him. What's he at? Oh, he got an extension. Yeah, good for him. Good for him. Good guy. All right, number one rookie in the AL, uh, Braylon Perez with the Tigers, 31 home runs. That'll do it. Two WAR. South and East with the Red Sox, 4.5 WAR. Don't know why he didn't win. McGonigal, three WAR. Seems like these guys are more deserving than Perez, but it is what it is. So yeah, those guys are looking at. Abney got some votes. He was just drafted in 2028. Good year out of him. Um, let's see. Top pitcher in the NL, Mike Laparty, number one pick in 2027, 5 WAR. Jack Perkins came in fifth. Interesting. Thought he would get at least second, but we had Rodon had a great year, 235 innings pitched, 6.5 at 4. McClanahan, 222 innings pitched, 4.7 WAR. Perkins was at 4.57 R WAR. So, pick your run prevention or peripherals really, and innings eater, per se. AL most valuable player, Mike Trout. Good to see him still up here. 108 WAR. He has one more year left on his deal with the Angels. Good for him. Gentry came in second. Julio Rodriguez came in third. Thielbar, the Rays, fourth. Jim Aldrich, 40 home runs. Guerrero still playing. Kinney, Riley Green backing up his ALCS hero, his performance in the ALCS with us by putting up 5.7 WAR in his first year with the Yankees. Casaria with the Mariners had a good year, and then Rodon, Max Clark, Dingler. Dingler had a great year. He's had a pretty good career. 21 WAR. Is he on a long-term deal? He is. It's a good deal. Good for him. Good for the Tigers. Nate Lowe, Brian Ramos. Pretty cool. The A's, Jack Perkins, 2 votes. Good for him. The only positive of the season for us. Person name. Okay. Interesting. But yeah, we're looking at we're not gonna extend the qualifying offer to Jaden Hill. Gonna let him go. Taylor Rogers went to 5.5 mil. We might look at him later on in the off season again. A couple of these guys we're gonna let Siri walk. He just played defense for us in AAA. Vogelbach we're gonna let walk. Just kind of filler, just in case we need some guys. Offer Richie contract. Let Doom go. Don't even know why he's in the organization. Let him go. And then Musgrove trying to decide if I should sign him to a big league deal. Um, I think I will. He's a good reliever, so we'll do that. He's a two-way guy, but mostly a reliever, so that's cool. Um, Hall of Fame voting begins. Keep looking at the waiver wire. Drew Jameson, no. Fonzo Perez, decent but low velocity. So let's take a look at the voting, just in case. We'll just do this because I like to do this every time. Go career. A-Rod, no. Bato, yes. Cano, no. Until Bonds gets in, I'm not letting anyone get in. That did steroids. Matt Holliday, yeah. McCutcheon, of course. Come on. You gotta give him a vote. Chase Utley had a great I'm surprised in real life he didn't get more votes. Posey, yes. Yachty, yes. Evan Longoria, no, not quite. Not quite. Jimmy Rollins, yeah. Yeah, no Ryan Braun. Sorry, bud. Pitching. Verlander, of course. Greinke. Where's the Greinke? Yeah, he's close enough. He was fun to watch. CC, and I wish I could vote for Felix, but can't do it. All right, cool. So we move on to the off season. The direction we're going is just get our payroll consolidated, knowing that Angel and Perkins are most likely going to be gone either this year or next year. Um, Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Sorry, my fiance is texting me. All right, so we got Tucker Musgrove. Is he happier? He's happier. I love to see it. He's deserved it too. He was one of our OG draft picks. Let's see where he was drafted 13th round, 2023. Still really like him. He's put up good numbers. Hitting wise, 109 WRC plus, pitching, 5 WAR, 7 R WAR. I mean, he deserves a shot. 27, that's a cool story. And he's a good reliever too. He could fill some innings, kind of like JT Ginn in a way. So that's cool. Um, Nobody else really here, so we'll go to the hearings. We'll see what free agents are out there real quick, and then I'll kind of end the episode, and we'll go to the next one and tell you what I did in the off season, but give you some idea of what I'm thinking. Right now, we can look at the lineup. So what does he want? So that we're looking at not much right now. Grahovich playing third. We don't want that. We don't want that. So we're gonna look at him more like at first base, and we're gonna look for a third baseman, maybe from within. We have Drew Jones, center, Dominguez, Beck, Caldwell, no. So we have some things to fill out. Franco probably gonna play first too, and corner outfield, Dickey, Bailey. So we have some things to do. Our rotation is pretty much set. We just gotta find some relievers, and then we're gonna figure it out then. Let's look at our budget. We have 42 million to spend. We don't have anything for next year, thankfully to these guys. This guy on hell and his $28 million arbitration estimate. So I wonder if I can just give him. No, I'm not doing any of that. All right. So then Volpe, of course, and Bailey. Bailey, we might try to bump his. See if he can get. He'll play every second day with Navarro. See if we can get some trade value for him. And then Lee, Nunez is still here. Rowe, Ekstrom. I feel good about this. Feel good about it. Baumeister still around. He was really wanted in trade offers, so teams really like him. Dickey Meyer. So we're not going to worry about this right now. We're just going to worry about this year, and we're going to go with what we have. But yeah, that'll end this episode. Oh, and I'll look at the free agents real quick. So Gentry is a free agent. He wants a lot. We're not really in the market for that. We're going to go from like small spending. Jordan Alvarez still around. He's wrecked. Uh, Koyo from Dodgers had a good year. He wants a lot. Jimenez, Olson, Kanahan, Varsho, Stevenson is still around. He's still around. He wants 16 mil. It's not going to happen. But yeah, I'll kind of search around, see if there's any relievers, um, pitcher ratings, see if there's any relievers that I like, bring them in and figure out this lineup and bullpen. All right, see you next episode.